I can't say it's a surprise. I expected it, but I'm glad it happened. I think nobody deserved to be Coach of the Year more than Kevin Stefanski.
It's a surprise depending on when you realize it was going to happen. If we would have said this was going to be the case in August, it's definitely a surprise. But I completely agree. No one was more deserving than Kevin Stefanski. The list became short right after the Steelers loss, I'd say, and when they started to fall apart. Mike Tomlin, of course, starting 11-0 would have been a favorite there. You think of Sean McDermott in Buffalo, but they've sort of been around in a playoff contender and have now taken that leap rather than coming out of nowhere. Usually it's the coach that turns around an organization from last to first or somewhere in between, like the Browns were. Matt LaFleur in Green Bay comes to mind. They've had a impressive couple of seasons here, and of course being the number one seed in the NFC. But all in all, considering everything Kevin Stefanski had to face being a first-year coach in the midst of a pandemic, the most unprecedented season in football, and everything in between, this wild roller coaster of a ride that was the 2020 Browns season, he was never fazed, and he took every blow, and this team took every blow, and they really became a product of their head coach. They're about their business, they're organized, and they don't flinch. And look, the Chiefs game I don't think it was Kevin Stefanski's finest moment, but you're going up against the world champions and future Hall of Fame coach in Andy Reid. But as a complete body of work, no one more deserving than Kevin Stefanski for Coach of the Year in 2020.
Yeah, had the best record for a first-year head coach, the only first-year head coach to win a first-round playoff game, although he wasn't the coach, but his team still won. So there were plenty of style points there as well. And if you think about all of the obstacles that you have to overcome as first-year head coach, and to do it when there's a pandemic and everything is done virtually, that really is an impressive season that Kevin Stefanski put together.
And it just speaks to the man that he is. The Browns were really prepared for this pandemic because of the two leaders they put in place in Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, two younger guys, two tech-savvy guys, of course, Ivy League, extremely intelligent men, and that set them up to be able to handle this storm. There's football minds that would not have been able to land this plane the way Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry did. And again, it's going to take some time to truly know everything they endured this year for the whole league. There's going to be, I'm sure there will be case studies on this league and this league year in general because of just everything all 32 teams had to face. And the Browns were right up there with some of the toughest hands they were dealt week in and week out. And again, like you said, finished with an 11-5 record, first playoff win since 1994. We could go on and on about the historic marks that this team reached, and that's why he's sitting with the Coach of the Year award.